What's going on, guys? It's Clutch Plays, and today I'm going to be hopping into my NBA playoffs predictions. So the NBA playoffs start this Saturday, and I want to get my predictions out before then. So here in front of me I have a playoff bracket, so I'm going to be filling it out and telling you guys my predictions. First up, we have the Warriors versus the Clippers, and this one relatively easy. Clippers don't have the star power to match up against the Warriors, so I'm going to have them sweeping them. I'd be surprised if they take a game. If I were to bet on it, I'd say the Warriors would sweep them, but if they do, good for them. Next up, we have the Rockets against the Jazz. So they tied the series 2-2 in the regular season. However, the Rockets won the last two games. And in this series, I feel like the Jazz will have a lot of trouble guarding James Harden. I don't feel like they'll be able to match up with the Rockets all that well, ultimately leading to the Rockets winning the series. The Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Portland Trail Blazers is one of the series I'm most looking forward to because the Thunder are the 6th seed, but they're actually favored over the Blazers. The Blazers are extremely undermanned right now that Yusuf Nurkic is out for the season, and CJ McCollum is not looking good for the playoffs, so he might be out as well. I feel like they're going to have trouble matching up against the Thunder, ultimately leading to the Thunder beating them. The Thunder are going to have a complete advantage at the center position because Steven Adams is going to be able to outman Enes Kanter as he is a completely unreliable player on the defensive end. Now the Spurs versus the Denver Nuggets. In this series, I do have the Denver Nuggets winning in 7 games, however, because I feel like each team is going to win all their games at home, and it's going to come down to game 7, but it's going to be at Denver, and I don't see Denver losing a single game to the Spurs at home, so I have them winning this series. The Spurs are going to put up a great fight, though. A Greg Popovich-led playoff team should never be underestimated, and I could see them winning the series. However, I don't feel like it's very likely. Now for the Eastern Conference. To make this short, I have the Bucks beating the Pistons. It's going to be a 4-0 game. They're bringing out the brooms, everything in Milwaukee. Good for them. Sorry, Pistons. Now the Boston Celtics versus the Indiana Pacers. I do have the Boston Celtics winning this series. However, it's going to come down to the wire in Game 7. The Pacers are a great team. I kind of view them as the last year's Toronto Raptors, but a little bit worse, because they're outstanding in the regular season, but I really don't think they're built for the playoffs. Especially with Victor Oladipo's injury, that was a major blow to their team. They have been able to keep it together, but come playoff time, I feel like the Boston Celtics have the better players, better coaching. However, they don't play together, but I don't think that's going to be the major problem in this series. 76ers, honestly, I love what they have together. I love the trades they've made. It's kind of fit their mold for what they want to win now and stuff. So I have them winning in 4 games against the Nets. I don't think the Nets are going to be able to compete against the 76ers. They may be able to take a game or two, but that's about it in my eyes. Now the Magic versus the Raptors. Once again, I have the Raptors winning, and honestly, I don't think the Magic are going to take a game. I want the Magic to take a game. I really like this young roster, but they have no playoff experience and aren't that good yet. So, yeah, they're not taking a game. In this series, this is going to be maybe one of the best series of the entire playoffs. And I have the Golden State Warriors actually winning in 7 games. I know many people want to see the Rockets win, but in my eyes, I don't think the Rockets will be able to beat the Warriors. The series is going to go to a Game 7, and it's going to be kind of tight all the way through. However, I feel like in Game 7, the Warriors are going to completely dominate the Rockets, ultimately win by more than 20, because they're going to finally be able to pull it together. And if they're playing together and as a team, with their star power, there's no way anyone in the entire NBA is going to be able to beat them. Now for the Thunder versus the Nuggets. In this series, this may surprise a lot of people. I actually have the Oklahoma City Thunder beating the Nuggets, not in 7 games, but in 6 games. The Nuggets aren't going to be able to take a game in Oklahoma City, but I do think Oklahoma City will be able to take Game 2 in Denver, and that'll ultimately lead to them winning the series. However, if this does go to Game 7, the Denver Nuggets are in a much better situation, so I feel like if the Thunder are going to win this, it's going to be in 6 games when they're at home. Now the Bucks versus the Celtics. This may be pretty cruel to the Celtics, but I have the Bucks winning in 5 games. This is the case because if the Celtics want to beat the Bucks, they're going to have to play together and as a team with all their bench units and stuff. But I don't see that happening because everyone, when watching the Celtics, decides to kind of do their own thing. Kind of like everyone wants to be Kyrie Irving, which I don't think that's going to fit. The only player I don't see doing that is Marcus Smart, but they're not going to beat the Bucks, and I have the Bucks winning in 5 games. I actually have the 76ers beating the Raptors, and this is the case because I really like the additions the 76ers made at the trade deadline, and this addition of Tobias Harris really put them over the top, and I feel like they'll be able to have the star power to go up against the Raptors, will ultimately push them forward into the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, here we have it. Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant against the Oklahoma City Thunder with Russell Westbrook. How amazing would it be if Westbrook is able to beat Kevin Durant and advance to the finals? But I don't see that happening, and I see Kevin Durant and the Warriors pulling over the Thunder and ultimately beating them in 5 games. I know this is a lot, beating them in 5 games, but I feel like the Warriors are going to rally around Kevin Durant and try and demolish the Thunder. That's kind of a last effort to keep him for the next season. Now for the Eastern Conference Finals. Oh boy. The Milwaukee Bucks versus the 76ers. The Milwaukee Bucks, their one major hole on their team is at center. I know they got Pau Gasol, but they really don't have a great center other than Brook Lopez, but I really wouldn't even consider him all that good. And the 76ers have the best center in the entire NBA. This matchup for the Bucks honestly isn't great whatsoever, but I do think they'll be able to pull ahead of the 76ers. Giannis will be able to put up insane numbers against the 76ers, and I don't think they're going to be able to stop him, and if they do, they're going to focus too much on him, and that'll ultimately lead to Chris Middleton being able to knock down wide open jumpers, along with Eric Bledsoe being able to get layups and stuff. So ultimately, I feel like the Bucks are in a much better position because they're harder to guard than the 76ers, which will lead to them advancing to the NBA Finals. I know this finals may seem a bit predictable. Well, that's because it is predictable. I do think the Warriors are going to win the NBA Finals. As sad as it is, they are most likely. I actually am going to have them winning in 6 games. I don't feel like the Warriors will be able to win at home for some reason. I feel like they're going to need that extra boost on the road to ultimately take it in Milwaukee. So ultimately, I do have the Bucks taking 2 games, but the Warriors aren't going to let it go to Game 7. So that's why I have them winning in Game 6. Those are my NBA Finals predictions. Tell me what your NBA Finals predictions are and who you have winning, because I'm actually extremely curious. And tell me if you agree with my predictions for the rounds, if you think the Thunder are going to go this far. And yeah, I'm out, and peace!